Hey everyone, I have a quick question for you. Have you ever told a little lie and thought it's not a big deal? Maybe you told your parents you brushed your teeth when you actually didn't. Or maybe when you told your teacher that you left your homework at home when in reality you never even did it. Or what about this? Have you ever blamed a younger sibling or a friend for something you actually did? Be honest. You see, we all face many moments like this, and sometimes it feels like telling a lie is easier. Maybe we think it will help us avoid getting into trouble. Maybe we think no one will find out. But have you ever noticed what happens after we tell a lie? At first, it seems like everything is fine, but then you start feeling guilty. You start worrying. What if they find out? What if someone saw me? What if I have to lie again to cover this up? And suddenly, that one small turns into something bigger. You have to keep lying just to keep the first lie hidden. Let's imagine this. What if everyone in the world lied all the time? Imagine a world where you could never trust anyone. Teachers wouldn't believe students, parents wouldn't believe their children, friends wouldn't trust each other, even doctors might lie to their patients. Can you imagine how terrible would that be? Now, let's think about the opposite. What if everyone was honest? Imagine living in a world where people always told the truth, where promises were always kept, and where you could trust what people say. Wouldn't that be amazing? Honesty is one of the most powerful values we can have. It's what makes people trust us. And trust is like a bridge. Once it's broken, it's very hard to fix. That's why being honest from the start, from the very beginning, is so important. Of course, sometimes telling the truth can be scary. Maybe you're afraid of disappointing someone. Maybe you're worried about getting punished. But here's the thing, being honest does not mean you will always get into trouble. In fact, people respect honesty. Parents, teachers, and friends all appreciate it when you tell the truth, even when it's difficult. Let me tell you a story. There was once a boy named Amir. Amir loved playing video games, but one day he accidentally spilled water on his father's laptop. He panicked. He thought, if I tell my dad, he will be really mad at me. He wiped the laptop and pretended nothing happened. But the next day, when his father tried to use it, it wouldn't turn on. His dad asked him, do you know what happened? And Amir shook his head and said, no, I don't know. For a while, Amir felt relieved, but then guilt started creeping in. Every time his dad talked about fixing the laptop, Amir felt worse. Finally, he decided to tell the truth. He apologized and explained what had happened. And guess what? His father wasn't angry, as he expected it to be. Instead, his father told him, I appreciate you for telling the truth. Accidents happen, but honesty is what really matters. That's the thing about honesty. It helps people trust you. Even when you make mistakes, telling the truth shows that you are responsible. And responsibility is an important part. And responsibility is an important part of growing up. My challenge for you today is this. Try to be honest, even when it's difficult. If you forget your homework, admit it. If you break something, own up to it. If you make a mistake, take responsibility for it. Because at the end of the day, being honest makes life so much easier and it makes you someone that people can truly trust. Are you ready to be a person of honesty? Let's all make honesty a habit and build a world where people can trust each other. Thanks for listening. And remember, honesty is always the best choice. Good day, everyone. Today, I want to talk about a value that is fundamental to our personal growth, relationships, and society, which is honesty. We have all been told since childhood that honesty is the best policy. But what does that really mean? Why is it why is honesty so important, and what happens when honesty is missing in our lives? To begin, let's define what honesty truly means. Many people think honesty simply means telling the truth, while this is part of it. Honesty goes much deeper. It means being truthful not only in our words, but also in our actions, our intentions, and our character. It means standing up for what is right, even when it is difficult. It means taking responsibility for our mistakes instead of blaming others. It means being real, not pretending to be someone we are not. But let's be honest, being truthful is always easy. There may be times when telling a lie seems like it's the best option. Maybe you are afraid of getting into trouble. Maybe you believe dishonesty will help you get ahead. But here's the reality. Lies always have consequences. There, they may not be immediate, but sooner or later the truth comes out. What happens when people choose dishonesty? First, dishonesty destroys trust. Trust is one of the most valuable things we can have in life. It takes a long time to build, but only seconds to break. Imagine if you lied to your best friend about something important. Even if they forgive you, they might always wonder, can I trust them again? That doubt can damage relationships permanently. In schools, dishonesty le- dishonesty leads to failure in the long run. Imagine a student who cheats on an exam. Maybe they get away with it once, maybe even twice. But what happens when they reach a level where they can no longer cheat their way through? They will struggle because they never truly dishonesty might bring temporary success, but in the end, it leads to failure. In the workplace, dishonesty can ruin careers. Employers value workers who are reliable and truthful. A dishonest employee, someone who lies on their resume, steals from the company, or deceives customers, will eventually be exposed. And once they are, they may lose not only their job, but also their professional reputation. Even on a larger scale, dishonesty can destroy nations. Think about corrupt leaders who lie to their people, governments that hide the truth, business that deceive their customers. When honesty is missing, people suffer, societies collapse. That is why honesty is not just a personal value, it is the foundation of a just and fair world. Now, let's look at the other side. What happens when we choose honesty? The benefits are endless. First and foremost, honesty builds trust and respect. When you are known as an honest person, people believe in you. They value your words. They rely on you, whether in friendships, family, or professional life. Honesty strengthens relationships and create deep connections. Honesty also brings peace of mind. Have you ever told a lie and then spent the next few hours or even days worrying about getting caught? That anxiety might be overwhelming, but when you are honest, you don't have to carry that stress. You can live freely, knowing you have nothing to hide. Another benefit of honesty is self-respect. When you tell the truth, even when it's hard, you feel good about yourself. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to live with guilt. You can walk confidently knowing that you have done the right thing. And let's not forget, honesty inspires others. When one person chooses honesty, it encourages those around them to do the same. A single act of honesty can create a ripple effect, leading to a culture of truthfulness and integrity. Let me share a few real life examples to show the power of honesty. First, consider the story of Abraham Lincoln, one of the most respected leaders in history. Before he became the president of the United States, he worked as a shopkeeper. One day, he accidentally overcharged a customer by a few cents. Instead of keeping the extra money, he walked miles to return it. That act of honesty earned him the trust and respect for his community. And that same honesty later made him a great leader. Now, let's take a look at a modern example. Have you ever heard of a company called Patagonia? It is one of the world's most successful clothing brands. But what makes it unique? Honesty. Patagonia is known for being completely truthful with its customers about its products, its environmental impact, and even its mistakes. Because of this honesty, people trust the brand and it continues to thrive. Finally, let's bring it back to our own lives. Have you ever done something wrong and felt the urge to hide it? Maybe you broke something at home, maybe you failed a test, maybe you made a mistake at work. The easiest choice is to lie and or cover it up. But the right choice is to be honest. It may feel scary at first, but honesty always leads to better outcomes in the long run. So, how can we practice honesty in our daily lives? It is simple but requires effort. First, be truthful in your words. Even if you make a mistake, admit it. If you don't know something, say so. If you promise something, keep your word. Second, be honest in your action. Don't cheat, steal, or deceive others. Even when no one is watching, do what is right. Third, be honest with yourself. Sometimes we lie to ourselves. We pretend everything is fine when it's not. We ignore our mistakes instead of facing them. But self-honesty is the first step to growth. When we acknowledge our flaws, we can improve and become better people. In conclusion, honesty is one of the most powerful values we can have. It builds trust, earns respect, and brings peace of mind. It makes it makes us better students, better friends, better leaders, and better human beings. Yes, being honest is not always easy. There will be times when it feels difficult. That there will be times when it feels difficult. When telling the truth seems like the harder choice. But in the end, honesty is always worth it. So today, I leave you with a challenge. The next time you face a situation where lying seems like the easy way out, pause, think, and choose honesty. Because honesty is not just about telling the truth. It's about being a person of integrity, someone that others can believe in, and most importantly, someone you can be proud of. Thank you.